everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Maddie. I'm a registered dietitian and a certified health education specialist. On top of that, I have type 1 diabetes and a passion for people. Specifically, my goal is to help those with type 1 diabetes and their loved ones go from lost and lonely to educated and empowered. So, if you're looking for the inside scoop on all things diabetes and want a supportive community, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Today's video is going to be the ultimate guide to the top food tracking apps for diabetes management. I'm going to take a deep dive into MyFitnessPal and Cronometer to tell you which one I think is best as it relates to diabetes. Some of the questions I will answer today are: what are the key differences between MyFitnessPal and Cronometer? What are the pros and cons of MyFitnessPal and Cronometer for diabetes specifically? How can you integrate the Dexcom with both MyFitnessPal and Cronometer? And also, what are some tips for using a food tracking app like these two? Please note that this video is not medical advice, and both Cronometer and MyFitnessPal are also not substitutes. I'm simply sharing my research and experiences with food tracking apps and diabetes. If you have any questions about your diabetes management, please reach out to your doctor. Thanks again for your support. Don't forget to subscribe, and with that, let's get started. So I guess a question you might be wondering is how I got into food tracking. Well, way before I became a dietitian, way before I became a health education specialist, I wanted to take better care of myself. I got past that stage of being a little bit angry about it. I was diagnosed in middle school, so had some emotions, and eventually was able to accept my diagnosis. That really helped me to start taking good care of myself. And one of the ways that I did that was tracking my food and understanding how carbohydrates can impact my blood sugar. When I was in high school, this was my junior year at the time, I joined a club formerly known as HOSA, Health Occupation Students of America, but I do believe that now it's called Future Health Professionals. That's a really great organization if you yourself are in high school or if you have a child in high school to learn more about health careers and opportunities in the medical field. I decided to compete in the healthy lifestyle competition. I picked any goal that I wanted to further my health. I finally started to use a Dexcom G6, which we'll definitely get into later. I decided to take a deep dive into nutrition, and so I explored different carbohydrates, different kinds of dietary habits such as veganism or vegetarianism. What I would say it was my regular diet at the time, and I used the continuous glucose monitor to help me learn how my blood sugar was impacted. Because previous to having a CGM, I was checking my blood sugar manually, which was very helpful. However, I couldn't really tell what was happening. I might be able to make an informed guess, or I might see this awesome 100 blood sugar, and an hour later, maybe I have a 300. So getting into tracking with both my blood sugar itself and also food was really helpful. I tracked my food and weighed the impact of those carbohydrates on my blood sugar. So I would be happy to make a video about that. It's truly where I got my start in diabetes management, in dietetics, in healthy lifestyles in general. So let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in the comments. But anyways, that's how I got into food tracking. I chose to go with Cronometer. I don't really have a good reason for this. It just stood out to me visually. I have used Cronometer personally for over 10 years, so it's been quite a privilege to be able to have such awesome technology to help me through diabetes management. In my professional life, I do use MyFitnessPal regularly, so it's also a tool that I'm very familiar with. I think both have a lot of advantages. So let's start with figuring out what the difference truly is. MyFitnessPal was created in 2005 and has about 50 million users, whereas Cronometer was created a little bit later in 2009 and has a much smaller user base, about 1 million people. MyFitnessPal is available in over 200 countries. Cronometer is available in over 100 countries. I think one of the big differences is the food database. So essentially all of the food items that are in the app that you can use to count carbs, maybe look at micronutrients. We'll get into some of those things. But the user base for MyFitnessPal is much bigger. However, It is user generated, so there is some false information there, and that's something to pay attention to. Cronometer, on the other hand, is a smaller database, but it is verified, so the accuracy of its information is a little bit higher. Something else that's important is what we could track with these apps. So MyFitnessPal is a little bit more basic, which can be a great thing. It's pretty straightforward about macronutrients. You can track exercise. It's a really awesome app. It can also give you some info about vitamins and minerals. Cronometer is a little bit more advanced. Not only does it track macros, exercise, allows you to take notes and track vitamins and minerals, it breaks down things like protein into amino acids. I do believe it provides more micronutrient information. Something else I like is if you clicked on calcium in Cronometer, you would be able to see what the recommendation is for someone that is quite similar to your body. Both are customizable for your own needs. But when you're in that page, you can see those needs or those recommendations. And then under that, it will actually give you the function of each micronutrient. Again, my example is calcium. So it'll give you the function of calcium, why it's important for our bodies. And then underneath that, it will also give sources of calcium, which can be really great to say, hey, here's how you're gonna get these things that you need. Something else about Cronometer compared to MyFitnessPal is that it does do some glycemic index tracking, but you do have to have the premium subscription for that. If you're interested in learning more about the glycemic index, please find my video, which I will link below. So who will benefit from each app? If you're new to diabetes management and looking for something simple and straightforward, MyFitnessPal can be a really great resource. However, if you're interested in a lot of details, or if you're looking for more specific information, then Cronometer could be a great resource for you. Both are available for iOS, Android, and on the web. So if you do have a smart device or a laptop, a desktop, these applications should be available to you. I'll provide a link in the description below so that you can find out more about some of the integrations that both MyFitnessPal and Cronometer have to provide. Both apps do have a Dexcom integration, but I'll provide a link with information about some other applications that might also connect to both MyFitnessPal and Cronometer. Some of these include Samsung Health, Fitbit, Google Fit, Health Connect, Apple Watch, and more. As many of you know, I've been a Dexcom user for quite some time now, and what I want to do next is take you through the steps of how to integrate both MyFitnessPal and Cronometer with Dexcom. Alrighty y'all, let's go into Cronometer. You're going to hit the settings button, and then you're going to connect apps and devices. Make sure to choose available devices and find Dexcom. Let's hit link after you made sure you toggle those two options on. Agree to the disclaimer, sign in. Sorry folks, got to keep that one protected. And of course, like I said, log in and read through the disclosure and authorization. Check yes, give it a little signature, save and continue once you're done signing. And that should, once loaded, help connect to your device. Awesome. And we have success. So my device has been linked to Cronometer, so that data is going to be imported. So I'm going to exit out of this. So I'm going to hit back. Let's see, forgot to sync. Oh no, I'm syncing, importing. Yay. So now we're going to head out of here. Back. And when I go to this log, then I can see my blood glucose all the way up at the top there. Here's some of my logging, and just right up top you can see blood glucose. I click on it and this is what it shows. Just remember this is condensed, so it looks a little scarier than it is. All right, let's hop over to MyFitnessPal. We're again gonna find our apps and devices, and once you click on that, go ahead and scroll through. What you'll notice is that we don't actually have Dexcom, so we're going to have to go about this a slightly different way if you're on an iPhone. You'll want to click the Apple Health app and open Apple Health. So once you're there, let's go into apps and services and let's sync it up. As you can see, here's a few from my day that day. And so we're going to go back and look at MyFitnessPal and just share what it is that you want to share. So for me, in this case, I'm looking to share blood glucose specifically. And that really, folks, should set us up for a lot of success. I'd also like to discuss some tips about using each of these apps. So to start, it's very important to set realistic goals. So I usually don't recommend trying to change everything at once. Start by setting small, achievable goals, such as tracking your food intake for a week or maybe logging your workouts 3 times a week. These are really great tools. That being said, I think a lot of misinformation is out there, so caution when you're setting your settings or telling this app about your goals. It's important to speak with a registered dietitian, a doctor, or some other professional who has more information on your needs specifically, because some of the settings may not be the best for you. This is something to be mindful of if this is something you decide to do. I think the second bit of advice I would give is know your why. I think this is important in many aspects of life, but specifically for tracking, why? Why are you tracking your food? What are you hoping to accomplish? Once you know your why, it can be a lot easier to stay motivated when things get a little bit more difficult. The third bit of advice I would give is try to track your food as accurately as possible. Again, there can be a lot of misinformation out there, so double check some of these inputs. If you're on MyFitnessPal, for example, putting in, let's say, a cup of medium grain white rice, I would estimate that there are about 45 grams of carbohydrates for a cup of cooked rice. If it's telling you that there are 100 grams of carbs, or if it's telling you that there are 0, there might be a bit of an issue with that specific input. Anyways, the more accurately you're able to track, the easier it is to understand what's happening and to continue with the awesome things that you're doing and to maybe make changes. It's also helpful to be consistent with your tracking. Something that can make that tracking just a little bit easier is that both apps provide a barcode scanner. And in my opinion, the barcode scanner can make it just a little bit easier because instead of having to research everything, sometimes you can just scan a quick barcode and you already have that information pulled up. It doesn't work for every food, but a lot of common foods or popular foods are likely to be in these databases. Now, I don't know about you, but I love data. So something else that I think is really cool about both of these apps is that you can see change over time. So when you're tracking consistently, you can tell how your food intake has changed, if your exercises are different, if your weight has shifted. All of these things can be so helpful and motivating when we are tracking. Something I recommend is setting reminders. Sometimes when life starts lifing or things get busy, it can be tough to remember, so consider setting a reminder. This is just something that can help you stay on track. I know I kind of said this earlier with my calcium example, but I definitely recommend experimenting with some of your settings. Figure out why they are what they are. I honestly don't trust the first suggestion that either app gives me, so take a look and understand why that information might be given to you. A big piece of advice that I have for anyone when it comes to tracking is a way to avoid burnout and a way to not allow it to get so overwhelming is to not worry about perfection. It's just not going to happen, and that's okay. It is close to impossible to perfectly track our food, especially with a lot of the factors that are presented in each app. It's a really awesome tool for helping us understand what's going on, to make changes, for helping us to estimate, but there'll be times where it's tough to truly track accurately, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. If today didn't work out, tomorrow's a new day, and you can make that choice. Have fun. I think tracking and understanding, learning and knowing should be exciting and rewarding. It shouldn't have to be a burden. And when we're not enjoying ourselves, I don't know about you, but I am definitely less likely to stick with it. So find the reasons why you enjoy it and find what works for you. Maybe you have some days on and some days off, or maybe you do 1 week on, 1 week off. Whatever you need to be able to stick with it, to achieve those goals that you've set for yourself, those are the things that I want you to keep in mind. Set challenges, but make sure that they're manageable. I think the last tip I have is to find social support. In anything, if we're trying to change our diet, if we're trying to be more physically active, if we're changing really any habit, social support can be so key. Find a friend or have an accountability partner, someone that can say, hey, I'm here to help and I'm here to listen if things go wrong. And I'm here to let you know that it's okay if things don't turn out perfectly. Because again, what is perfection? That's all I've got for you today. So thanks for sticking with me. I hope that you found this to be very informative and motivating as you are on your health journey. Whether you choose to use MyFitnessPal or Cronometer or maybe another app, I want you to know that I'm rooting for you in any goal that it is that you're hoping to achieve. So let me know what that is. What is it that you're trying to achieve? Are you hoping to manage your blood sugar better? Are you hoping to learn more about micronutrients? Are you trying to be more physically active? Are you trying to learn more about your health? What is it that you are looking for? Let me know below. I would love to learn more. I do comment back on all of my comments as long as they're nice. It's an absolute privilege to hear from you. All right, again, truly, that is it for today. If you liked this video, if you want to see more like this and get the insider scoop on diabetes, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's my goal to do anything that I can to help you all. So if you have questions, if you have comments, if you have concerns, drop them down below. Let me know what you're thinking and I'll absolutely make sure to get back to you. Have a great day and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.